Yugi Bros! It's been a long time coming, but Konami finally gave us new Speed Duel cards. Look at these, look at these. Alright, so this is our sneak peek. Hey, what's up guys? It's Yugi Bros, and I know it's been literally forever, and I'm so sorry about it. Work's been killing me. Life has been killing me. I promise I will try to be back. But regardless, December will be better than November, but either way, 2020 will be the resurgence, the full resurgence of Yugi Bros. If it doesn't come, December will be a little bit wonky, but I promise I'll try to get stuff up. At least now we have new Speed Duel stuff, so hopefully we can, finally have new things to talk about. Sorry guys, I'm super sick. I've been super sick for the last week or so that's why that's been my excuse this week for videos, but I shouldn't have any excuses for videos. I should still be putting videos up, and I'm so sorry that I haven't been able to get to it because of certain outside forces. Today we are going to go over, and I know this is very late, but we're going to go over what the sneak peek little kit thing that you get is at the Trials of the Kingdom sneak peek this weekend. They come with 5 cards, 5 reprints, and 4 very interesting skill cards. Definitely lower tier level skill cards, but they are skill cards nonetheless. So we're going to go over the skill cards first. We have 4 of them. The first one is called Fusion Party, and it's a Christine skill. I don't know who these characters are, by the way. They could be from random Yu-Gi-Oh! Episodes. I have no idea. But regardless, Christine skill. Activate the skill during your main phase. Once per duel, you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. Like I said, these skills aren't like top tier, but they are sneak peek skills. They are kind of just the branching point to get people to play the game, which is fine. I'm okay with this. We don't need every skill to be another hidden parasite or it's my lucky day. We need entry-level skills, and then we need more advanced skills like that. With stuff like this, this is interesting. Once per duel, you can fusion summon. It just activates as a polymerization, essentially. What's nice is that skills don't use the chain, so if you were to fusion summon here, your opponent's not chaining anything to it, which is nice. It essentially makes your fusion summon like inherent almost, without the ability to play it through like a spell card or something like that. I'm not sure this has any actual practicality currently, but it definitely could maybe in the future. I'm kind of sad it's only once per duel. I feel like something like this maybe should be like twice per duel. I don't know. But you can use it whenever during your main phase, so that's nice, and there's no actual costs to it. So, hey, you never know. This might be relevant. The next one is called Ritual Ceremony. It's an MS skill. Activate the skill during your main phase. Once per duel, you can reveal 1 ritual monster from your hand, then add 1 ritual spell from your deck to your hand that can ritual summon that monster. This is interesting because we obviously think of Relinquished when something like this comes up. We do have Fortress Whale, and we do have Magician of Black Chaos coming out in the new set, as well as I think Super War Lion, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know anything that makes any of those decks more relevant than something like Relinquished for a ritual deck right now. But I could be wrong going into the future, I'm not really sure. But back to Relinquished, this is kind of like Dragon Caller for Relinquished, however it's one-sided. You have to have the ritual monster in hand to add the spell to your hand. You can't do it vice versa, unlike Dragon Caller where it doesn't matter if you have Lord of the or Flute, you can get the opposite. So it's kind of one-sided in that respect, but again, it's supposed to not be a meta-defining skill, and I would argue that this is probably one of the best skills here out of these 4. So it's interesting. It definitely isn't terrible. Relinquished was playing It's My Lucky Day for the most part during that format. Hidden Parasite kind of ruins that deck, so they couldn't really play Hidden Parasite too productively, I guess. So this is kind of a fast way to get your Relinquished. Relinquished hasn't been relevant really since before Scars of Battle, but I mean, this does give it a little bit more consistency and power to itself. I think Relinquished doesn't do enough anymore, and that's why it's just not really good. It was never really the consistency that was the issue. Once Sonic Bird came out, the deck was super ridiculously consistent. But this is definitely interesting. I could definitely see play in something like a relinquished deck. The next one is called Low Blow. It's an Andrew skill. Activate the skill during your main phase. Once per duel, you can make one monster on the field lose 500 attack and defense until the end of the turn. This is kind of similar to Power Up. Power Up was a skill that I believe was released as like a demo thing, whereas once per duel, you can make one of your monsters gain 500 attack. I don't remember if it was till the end of the turn or not, but either way, this is kind of the opposite. You make an opponent's... Actually, I'm sorry, you can make any monster on the field lose 500, so it can be yours if it's relevant to a strategy you're doing, or you could do it to your opponent to try to get over something. I'm not a huge fan of this. I wish it was more like 1,000. That would be a lot more relevant, I think. That way, even if you're playing against something like as powerful as, let's say, Blue Eyes White Dragon, it brings it down to 2,000, and then you can effectively get over it with anything. Bringing it down to 25 is not really going to make a difference. I understand Blue Eyes isn't like a great example because it's not super meta, but I guess if we're going to go more meta-related, Blade Knight, let's say Blade's at 2,000 plus Command Knight makes it 24. Minusing it by 5 puts it at 19, but a lot of regular monsters can't deal with that still. But if you made it down to like 14 with 1,000, that'd be a little bit better. And then the Low Blow name would make a little bit more sense. But, you know, it's a sneak peek skill, so I understand. And the last one is called Digging for Gold. This is my personal favorite. That's a David skill. Activate the skill during your main phase. Once per duel, you can manage 3 cards from your graveyard, then draw 1 card. This has a plethora amount of uses. I understand right now banishing stuff from your grave doesn't really net you anything, but it can only go up from here. There are so many cards in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! That trigger when they're banished that I can only see this being insane in the future. Like if you put this in modern day Thunder Dragon, a draw 1 that says you banish 3 cards from your graveyard, this would be broken. You'd banish your Thunder Dragon monsters, draw your card, and then the Thunders would all trigger in a separate chain, and you'd get extra effects. This card would be insane, even if it was like a once per duel. So I definitely see this being really relevant in the future. Right now, it's just a free Upstart Goblin. It's not a early turn 1 Upstart Goblin because you need to banish 3 cards in your grave, so I feel like it's like a fair Upstart Goblin. The sad part, once again, is that it's once per duel, which is okay. I think that's balanced. I just think that because this takes the place of your skill, it's just kind of underwhelming because in a game where It's My Lucky Day and Hidden Parasite still exist, I'd rather have those as actual options than have this one draw card. But in the future, like I said, if something comes out that makes the banish effect relevant here, then this could be a very formidable skill going forward. So those are the 4 skills you get. They gave us 5 reprints as well, and so it's interesting. It's 4 what I would say pointless cards in one insane one. Two-Headed King Rex, Jax Knight, Ryoku, and Reinforcements, all are reprints we didn't need, and I understand the point of these is to just get people in on the game, but I would give them stuff that we needed reprints for, like, even if it's not insane money cards, give us something like Forceful Checkpoint, Mitchizer, for a spell card. I don't know. Give us something that's not terrible. I would love a Nightbeam reprint, but I think it's too early. But Sphere Kuriboh is in here as the 5th reprint, and this is huge, guys. Like when the advent calendar for regular Yu-Gi-Oh came out, I was really hoping that Sphere Kuriboh in that would just say Speed Duel on it, so that would be our mass reprint, and then we could go on from there. But no, they didn't do that. But they did put it here, which is huge. This is kind of like what Windstorm was in the last demo pack type thing, where for the Speed Duel Celebration thing, I believe Windstorm was in it, and that significantly dropped the price of Windstorm, making Windstorms easier to get for everyone. It was like a $5, $6 card, now it's like $2. Sphere Kuriboh, though, this has been the most expensive card in Speed Duel since the beginning, sitting at around $15. This is going to drop it dramatically, and this is going to make it so much easier for players that don't really have the money to shell out for it, able to acquire it and play it in their decks. And I'm so happy for this. I'm really, like, I understand Speed Duels is a cheaper Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, so having money cards being like $15 isn't the end of the world, because compared to regular Yu-Gi-Oh!, that's so incredibly cheap. But I do also want as many players to play this as possible without having to feel like they need to shell out cash from their from their pockets. And while Blade Turbo or Blade Knight Control didn't really play Sphere Kuriboh, you were kind of locked into playing that if you didn't have Sphere Kuribohs, because every other meta-relevant deck kind of needs it. I guess Gravekeepers doesn't either. Those are the only two, and those are arguably the only two Tier 1 decks that currently exist. You could play Burn too without Sphere Kuriboh, but Burn with Sphere Kuriboh is so much better. But now we have an easier access to the card, which just makes it so much easier for people in general, and I'm so happy that we get this. I feel like hopefully this is a step in the right direction for Konami, like 100%. I hope we see more of stuff like this in the future, because Nightbeam will probably now be the most expensive card. However, Book of Life is kind of going up since the new set's release. I'll reveal that in a different video. I'll talk about that in a different video. But guys, what do you think about this? What do you think about these 4 skills? Are any of them insane? Are any of them very underwhelming to you? Leave a comment down below. What do you think also about the Sphere Kuriboh reprint? I know I'm super excited for this. Now I don't have to hold $45 in Sphere Kuribohs just for speed duels. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. It's Yugi Bros, and I promise I will release more videos. I swear I will do it. I'm so sorry for the inconsistencies in the past. But I'll see you guys later next time. Peace out.